Thank you for joining us on Nationwide. I am Bintu Aliyu Sumonu. You're welcome. President Muhammadu Buhari says his ambition to seek re-election is to, among others, objectively harness the nation's natural endowment and make life more meaningful to the people, especially the less privileged. The president was at the APC presidential campaign rally in Ebonyi, where he assured Nigerians that his leadership will not give up in the fight against corruption, which is responsible for the nation's underdevelopment. Political correspondent Salihu Abdullahi reports.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who appeared in a typical Southeast regalia as the Obuagu of Igbo land, was received by the people of Ebonyi State, who came out in their numbers to show support for his re-election come February 16. President Buhari says his ambition beyond 2019 is to remain focused in consolidating on the change his administration is championing for the good of the country and leave behind a legacy of leadership the future generation can be proud of.
I, as the president today, have never been in a position of trust and abuse it. As a governor, in the whole of the 6 northeastern states before, as Minister of Petroleum for over 3 years, and as a former head of state. I was arrested, detained, investigated, but they never found anything wanting against me.
APC stakeholders in the Southeast and beyond described President Buhari as a symbol of hope for the country and passionately appealed to the people to convert their numbers to ensure that the president win the 25% votes in the Southeast.
We are an independent nation. The right to determine our policies are not negotiable. We welcome friends, but we will not welcome interference. We will not welcome dictatorship. We will not welcome anyone whose interest is to subject us to sets of policies that will further pauperize our people.
He knows that no nation has ever been great without science and technology. And Mr. President is supporting science, technology, and innovation.
The resolve not to trade in any position from the first election to the last. APC is taking over Ebonyi State.
Prepare yourselves for vote. Bring your mother, your father, your brother, your sister. Protect your vote.
Highlight was the reception of about 25 political parties, including 3 governorship candidates who have endorsed the re-election of President Muhammadu Buhari. Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Earlier, President Muhammadu Buhari was received by Governor David Umahi and APC chieftains in the state. We will bring you details of this report in the subsequent bulletin. Moving on, the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, has promised Nigerians of more infrastructural development as well as improved economy if the Buhari administration is given another opportunity to rule. He stated this during his campaign visit to traditional rulers in Ondo State.
The first port of call of the Vice President was Ondo Town. At the palace of the Oshimawe of Ondo Kingdom, His Royal Majesty Adesimbo Kiladejo, Vice President Osinbajo, said Nigeria is blessed with viable resources and has many ideas, but all this could not be actualized because of corrupt practices. Hence, President Buhari's administration is committed to fighting the menace.
We are investing heavily in infrastructure, And even in the southwest, the Lagos-Ibadan expressway or all the way to Benin, these are roads that we have put substantial amounts of money aside to do.
My people believe that you are a good ambassador of the Yoruba race.
The Vice President also visited Jegun of Ile-Oluji, His Royal Majesty Julius Adetimehin, where he promised more developmental projects if APC is voted to rule the country again. The Royal Fathers prayed for divine protection for the campaign team and success in the forthcoming elections. In Nakure, Toyin Batire, NTA News.
Now, the candidacy of President Muhammad Buhari for a second term in office got a further boost with another endorsement. This time it is the Association of Scavengers, popularly known as Babambola. Correspondent Francis Form reports that the rally, which held at the old parade ground Abuja, attracted members from within and outside Abuja.
Nigeria! They are scavengers, popularly referred to as Babambola. But at this gathering, their mission is to fully support President Muhammadu Buhari and Vice President Yemi Osinbajo in the February 16 presidential coup.
I really appreciate these people who feel that, yes, the government of Buhari is the government of something to write home about.
And you could see them, they have all voters' cards. So our coming here is very, very important because they are coming here to tell us they are going to vote Baba, they are going to vote APC.
The group, with over 2 million membership, cut across 9 states in Nigeria, believes that with the exemplary leadership exhibited by President Buhari, there is therefore the need for him to continue in order to move the country to the next level.
Based on so many factors, we agreed unanimously to support this administration because of the good work we've seen on ground.
Advising them, let them make sure that they vote APC from top to down.
We informed all our groups and our members who are into this business to come and join us, declaring our support to Mr. President.
They urge the federal and state government to look at ways through which they can improve the living standard of Nigerians. In Abuja, Francis Form, NTA News.
Now, as the 2019 general elections draw closer, there is every need to develop a sense of political tolerance and eschew the culture of violence in order to have a free, fair and credible polls. This came to the fore at the Stakeholders Forum on 2019 general elections organized by INEC, Ogun State. Ayoade Elegbede reports.
With 2,375,000 registered voters from 2011 to date, INEC in Ogun State is ready for the general elections. This is why the Election Stakeholders Forum in Abeokuta by INEC for political parties, security agencies, the media, and relevant government institutions involved in the election has become imperative.
And I think it has been very explicit, about the whole processes.
The Secretary to the State Government, Taiwo Adeolua, represented Governor Ibikunle Amosun at the forum.
We are going to extend all cooperation to you to ensure that the current exercise we are preparing for the national elections is hitch-free.
The interactive session afforded participants at the forum to get updated on the level of preparedness by INEC, having intimated them with election guidelines and procedures, including security arrangement, movement of materials, and transportation, among other logistics.
On the election days, whenever you see anything that is not palatable, please call our attention to it.
In appeal to party leaders, members and supporters to conduct themselves peacefully at every rally ground and beyond.
You sell your vote, sell your conscience. Sell your vote, sell your future.
Just as the stakeholders were able to clear areas of doubts and express confidence in INEC, INEC authorities equally enjoined the people of the state to visit local government offices and collect their PVCs, numbering over 750,000, yet to be claimed.
Now, Nigerians have continued to react to the suspension of Justice Walter Onnoghen as the head of the judicial arm of government. Guest on Good Morning Nigeria described as baseless and inappropriate insinuations linking the suspension with the conduct of the forthcoming general elections. Marjana Adam Said reports.
The commencement of trial of Justice Walter Onnoghen for alleged false declaration of assets and his subsequent suspension by the President on the order of the Code of Conduct Tribunal. Various groups and individuals as well as foreign nationals have continued to react to the issue in different ways. Guests on Good Morning Nigeria said the Code of Conduct Tribunal has exclusive jurisdiction and power to determine the case against Justice Walter Onnoghen.
The matter has not been decided by the Code of Conduct Tribunal. The Code of Conduct Tribunal simply gave an order saying that he must be suspended, otherwise they will not be able to deal with this issue given the position of the Chief Justice of Nigeria in the judicial system.
We as Nigerians should be able to separate those kind of sentiments from when a presidential decision is taken by the president.
The Senate leader, Senator Ahmad Lawal, who stressed the need to enhance the nation's electoral process, advised the Senate President to withdraw the case he filed at the Supreme Court in respect of the suspension.
We are not discussing the need or necessity of going to Supreme Court. We are discussing the procedure in this case, the process, that there was a breach, that there was an usurpation of the powers of the Senate by the Senate President, and that he has no such powers and therefore should withdraw the case, come back. If he wishes, invite us back. We talk about this, whether we should go to the Supreme Court for interpretation or not. But to do otherwise will compel us as a caucus to also approach the Supreme Court to say that we are never a party to this and therefore this case should be thrown out.
The guests advised Nigerians, especially public officers, to respect their oath of office. In Abuja, Marjana Adam Said, NTA News.
Let's now join Ruth in Lagos Network Center for more reports on Nationwide. Hello, Ruth.
Thank you and welcome to Lagos. 161 Nigerians stranded in Libya have arrived in Nigeria under the Nigeria-European Union Partnership. Mohammed Abdul Kadri reports that the Lagos Coordinator, Territorial Office, National Emergency Management Agency, Idris Mohammed, received the returnees at the cargo wing of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos.
Statistics of the Nigerian returnees from Libya indicate 100 females made up of adults and children. The returnees who arrived at 3:30 this morning on board Tripoli Air also had 61 males.
The European Union is supporting the IOM to bring back these migrants from North Africa back home to Nigeria under this initiative.
On arrival at the cargo wing of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, the returnees went through profiling, with 3 of them having medical cases.
One of them with an injury on the leg, and then some of them just some sicknesses.
The returnees left the shores of the country determined to enter Europe through Libya, but regretted such deadly journey.
Nothing like home. I suffer in Libya where I go to.
After savoring homely hospitality with the provision of food, water, drugs, and accommodation, cell phones and SIM cards were distributed to the returnees to reconnect with families and friends. 8,808 Nigerians returnees have benefited from the EU Voluntary Assisted Returnees Program. From the cargo wing of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos, Muhammad Abdel Kadir, NTA News.
Preserving and promoting the African culture and its heritage is the driving force for the activities of Center for Black and African Arts and Civilization, CBAC, as part of its vision for a better projection and repositioning of African historical values. Board members met in Lagos to brainstorm on issues of common interest. The Center for Black and African Arts and Civilization is a cultural archive for arts, cultural works, monuments, and other indigenous games and historical events associated with Black Africans. The board meeting, the first for 2019, afforded members the opportunity of sharing knowledge and interfacing on how to boost the rich cultural heritage of the people.
It is the research arm of the cultural ministry and all that, and then it has more the international flavor than all other agencies, departments.
We intend in this regime that we are going to reach out more to the public. We are going to air more programs. We are going to try and generate revenue from the resources that we have.
With members drawn from museum and monuments, the media, Council for Arts and Culture, addressed the need to collectively tackle peculiar challenges of preserving Black African arts and culture.
The board of CBAC is trying to bring out those values that perhaps will project not only Nigeria but Africa, and Africa in the correct perspective, so that it will lure other developed and developing nations into Africa for investment.
CBAC was established in 1977 after Festac 77 to preserve the materials and cultural artifacts used during the festival. 6 vehicles were gutted by fire in front of the filled portion of Ojo Cantonment on the Lagos-Badagry Expressway. Unit Commander, Federal Road Safety Corps, who was at the scene, attributed the incident to a tanker that fell and spilled its contents, leading to the fire. Paul Omokagu has details.
The fire incident started at about 4 o'clock in the morning, with men of the Lagos State Fire Service responding promptly to the distress call from residents in the area. At the time NTA News arrived at the scene, the fire has been brought under control. However, Unit Commander of Federal Road Safety Corps, IBA, Lagos State, says in addition to the 6 vehicles gutted by the fire, there were 3 casualties.
We discovered that a tanker fell from the filled portion of the road, and the portion of the road now, it spilled the content on the road and affected so many other vehicles, about 6. Right now, we have about 3 deaths, and we are now trying to see how we can evacuate the dead bodies and equally to remove the vehicles from the road.
So that we arrive at the scene, and we met fire well alive, the tanker well alive, and my men are able to curb the fire.
The incident led to a gridlock on the expressway as the affected section of the road was cordoned off. In Lagos, Paul Omukagu, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Lagos. We now turn over attention to Nigeria's northeast, where Mohammed is on standby in our Maiduguri studios with an update on ongoing projects. Hello, Mohammed.
Thank you and welcome to Maiduguri. Work on the Maiduguri Industrial Hub has reached advanced stage of completion as state-of-the-art machines are being installed to kickstart production when inaugurated. Governor Kashim Shettima was at the hub for a routine inspection of the ongoing work at the project site that is expected to provide jobs for hundreds of youths. Mohamed Goni reports.
The industrial hub comprises different plants and factories, such as plastic industry, corn chip factory, tomato processing factory, net and thread making factory, solar panel and accessories, as well as bottling factories, among others. Governor Shettima was conducted around by Engineer Ibrahim Ali, who briefed him on progress of work and the capacities of the installed machine.
That the net making machine, that net making machine is going to be revolutionary.
Net house, at least 300 to 500 people will be working here every week. maybe twice or thrice a week. So that's the level of employment it can generate. It can also produce close to about 1,500 tons of tomato.
This is part of the Maiduguri Industrial Hub, the largest in the north, which, when completed, it is expected to employ the teeming youth in the state as part of post-insurgency rehabilitation and resettlement. The governor was also at various mega schools being constructed within the metropolis and Jere, which are at various stages of completion, to include 202 mega school at former Deribe Hospital, mega school at former Kanuri Motors, Ngomari mega school, and the shopping complex along the main road. Also inspected were the bypass Buhari Academy, where he was conducted around by engineer Usman Tijani on progress of work, and proceeded to Biwak Cinema Mega School. In Maiduguri, Mahmoud Goni, NTA News.
National Orientation Agency, NOAA Borno State, is sustaining an increasing tempo of sensitization programs on voter education towards the realization of peaceful and violence-free 2019 polls. The sensitization, which took place at the NOAA headquarters, Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, also featured peace walk and road show. Rebecca Bature reports.
As the 2019 general elections drew closer, the National Orientation Agency has intensified efforts towards free, fair, and credible elections. With me is the State Director, National Orientation Agency, Borno State.
It is aimed at sensitizing the public to ensure that everyone contributes toward a peaceful election. It is a program that is taking place this time in all the northeastern states. The national headquarters of NOAA has faced the program according to zone. The northeastern zone is taking its own now, and I'm glad in Borno State we have invited particularly the youth, who are key in ensuring that the election is devoid of violence.
The guest speaker, Yunus Jibrin Yunus of English Department, Sir Kashim College of Education, Maiduguri, said, for election to be free of violence, all arrangement must be orderly, while good human relationships should be maintained by election officials and voters.
Go ahead and collect your PVC so that we are going to cast for any leader that we feel like is credible and is going to serve our purpose.
Other speakers at the sensitization charged eligible voters to contribute in ensuring peaceful elections. The voter education was rounded up with a walk from the NOAA headquarters through Post Office area to Dandal Way. In Maiduguri, Rebecca Bature, NTA News.
Studies have shown that about 77% of fiber in sweet potato is insoluble, which helps in the fight against diabetes. It is against this backdrop that Yagum Subukar examines the health benefits of sweet potato, considering its availability now in the market.
I'm right here at the Gamboru market here in Maiduguri, popularly known for the sale of perishables. As it is now, the sweet potato is at its peak, thereby making it affordable for people to buy. Sir, can you tell us how the business is here as now?
Of course, but last 2 months ago we have sold this potato as 11,000, 9,005. But of course, by the grace of God, now we have to resell it for 4,000.
Sweet potato belongs to the morning glory family, which is a powerful source of nutrient, where in one medium spot, there is over 400% of one's daily vitamin. It is a nutritious and delicious root vegetable, considered amongst the best sources of vitamin A1 and B5, which contains anti-inflammatory, anti-diabetes, and anti-cancer properties. Research indicates that sweet potato minimizes the occurrence of insulin resistance and low blood sugar levels, as well as high blood sugar in people suffering from diabetes type 1 and 2.
For patients with diabetes, if their blood sugar is not very high, they can take the sweet potatoes moderately. But if it is low, then they can increase the amount of the sweet potatoes that they can take.
Due to its availability in the market now, buyers are trooping to purchase the item.
Because of the seasonal time, and this sweet potato, it is very good for breakfast and at home, and the thing is very sweet and very cheap price.
According to dealers of sweet potatoes, over 8 trucks load of the commodity are offloaded in this market from Darki in Kano State on daily basis. It's now back to the studio.
Thank you, Yagumsu, and that's all on our contribution. The rest of Nationwide continues with Bintu in Abuja.
Thank you, Mohammed. Now here in Abuja, we continue nationwide as the Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Duli has destroyed terrorist hideouts and neutralized some terrorists at Limberi, a cluster of small co-located settlements made up of mud and thatched roof structures located about 92 kilometers northwest of Monguno in northern Borno State. Director of Public Relations and Information Air Commodore Ibikunle Daramola indicates that the airstrike was conducted following human intelligence indicating that the locations are used by terrorists as a staging area. This was later confirmed by intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance missions, which revealed a group of terrorists heading 3 kilometers north of the settlement. The Air Task Force dispatched 2 Nigerian Air Force Alpha jet aircraft to attack the location in successive strikes, resulting in destruction of the structures and neutralizing the terrorists. The Nigerian Air Force says it will continue to provide close air support for ground troops in the various theater of operations across the country with a view towards restoring peace in the country. Still talking security, Taraba State Governor Darius Ishaku has commended the Nigerian military for the peace in the states. This was while receiving the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, on operational visits to the state. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has details.
State in northeast Nigeria has experienced different security threats, leading to loss of lives and property. This led to the establishment of Exercise Ayima Patuma, an internal security operation organized by the Nigerian Army. The exercise that involves other security agencies, the state governor Darius Ishaku said, has stemmed criminality.
Thank God we are relatively peaceful. Peace, you are to guarantee it for us. I don't blame you much because if the police was up to the task, well equipped, you will do less. And so most often than not, we have to cry to you people.
Similarly, the army chief was at the 20 Battalion Sati, where he enjoined young officers on leadership and cadre course to be disciplined and professionals in the line of duty.
All officers that are commissioned into the Nigerian Army equally come here, stay to imbibe the true spirit of regimentation, esprit de corps, to know the core values of the Nigerian Army.
He also inspected ongoing projects in the battalion. From Sati in Taraba State, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The Police Service Commission has approved the reconstitution of the management team of the Nigeria Police Force based on the zonal representation, with effects from Monday, January 28, 2019. A statement signed by Ikechukwu Ani, Head Press and Public Relations, says the approval was the high point of the 4th plenary meeting of the Commission held in Abuja on Monday and Tuesday, January 28 and 29, 2019, and presided over by its chairman, Alhaji Musliu Smith, a retired Inspector General of Police. The Commission approved the retirement of 7 former DIGs and appointment of 8 Deputy Inspectors General of Police, with one of them, Usman Yakubu, promoted and proceeded on terminal leave. Others are Aminchi Samaila Baraya, the most senior AIG from Northeast, who will represent the zone in the management team. Usman Tille Abubakar, representing the Northwest. Abdul Majid Ali, former Assistant Inspector General of Police, representing North Central, and Frederick Taiwo Lakanu, former AIG Operations, and until his appointment, the Force Secretary representing the Southwest. Also in the team are Godwin C. Mwobodo, former AIG Border Patrol, presently AIG Zone 7 Abuja, and former CP courses at the Police Academy Polak Wudil Kanu, representing Southeast. Anthony Obizi, Michael, former CP Ebonyi and Delta States, representing South, and Yakub Jibril from North Central, but appointed on seniority consideration. Chairman of the commission, Alhaji Smith, charged the new management team to give the acting Inspector General of Police maximum cooperation and ensure that the forthcoming general elections are free, fair and credible. The approval has been conveyed to the acting Inspector General of Police for implementation. For the Nigerian intelligence community to be more proactive in tackling security challenges, credible information sharing gap must be addressed among security agencies. This was the consensus at the leadership course in criminal intelligence and intelligence management cycle in Abuja. Defense correspondent Olajide Bello reports.
The asymmetric nature of contemporary security challenges makes it imperative for security agencies to up their game by being proactive rather than reactive. The need to expand the Nigerian intelligence community, inadequate space on geospatial technology, interagency rivalry, absence of central data and weak central coordination were some of the challenges identified to be bedeviling the security sector in Nigeria.
In the Nigerian context, lack of intelligence sharing is fostered by a keen sense of competitiveness and belief that relevance lies in hoarding intelligence from others and being the first and only source of a crucial piece of information.
Intelligence should drive criminal investigation. And when you do that, then it means that you're having a healthy respect for the rights of the citizens. And when you start having that, then you start winning the support of, the people who you are supposed to serve. So it's a symbiotic thing.
The concept of strategic spiritual intelligence, or SSI, is being developed to serve as a complementary source of intelligence for what I call strategic empirical intelligence.
The take-home is for more synergy and flexibility of information sharing to curtail insecurity in the country. In Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
You're watching NTA Nationwide. We now take a break to be back shortly. Thank you for staying tuned. President Muhammadu Buhari joins all members of the All Progressives Congress APC in congratulating the former Minister of Labour and Productivity, Emeka Wogu, on his 54th birthday on January 29, 2019. The president affirms that the former minister's loyalty to the party and public service record has contributed greatly to national development. President Buhari prays for more exploits for the party's stalwart on the occasion of his 54th birthday. Kemi in our Ibadan Network Center has the next set of reports. Over to you, Kemi.
Thank you, Bintu, and a warm welcome to Ibadan. The new Minister of Environment, Suleiman Hassan, has promised renewed commitment to President Muhammadu Buhari's mandate of implementing various policies towards empowering people, taking climate action and protecting the environment. The minister made this known during his maiden visit to the Forestry Research Institute of Nigeria, FRIN, Ibadan. Here is the report. The Ministry of Environment has the mainstream role of synergizing other stakeholders in improving the quality of lives of the people, preserving the environment and enhancing overall development of the nation. The Forestry Research Institute, as an agency of the ministry, is strategically placed to support the achievements of this mandate. This, the minister says, calls for the visit to FRIN for adequate briefing on the past, present and future potentials of the institute.
This ministry, like you know, is multi-sectoral. FRIN is one part of the finger. What we want to build is a synergy between departments and agencies of this ministry for better performance.
Thank God where we be now,
that stated that we should enjoy TED fund, as well as our document on conditional scheme of service with the head of service.
The minister also took a tour around various sections of the institute, noting that efforts in the areas of ecological research, soil and environmental protection, biomedical and biofuel research, among others, stand out as model of innovation, research, and achieving global afforestation targets. Adequate and proper vaccination as well as therapeutic measures for children under age 5 can reduce the burden of childhood diseases, attendant disability and death in Nigeria. Experts agreed at the annual general meeting of the Nigerian Association of Pediatrics held in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. Adebola Ogulano brings us details from the venue.
Here we are at the International Conference Center of the University of Ibadan for the 50th Annual General Meeting and 6th International Scientific Conference of the Pediatric Association of Nigeria. Experts advocated for vaccination as a key effective means of preventing significant morbidity and mobility from children. I'm here with the president of the Pediatric Association of Nigeria.
The most important issue we're really talking about is immunization, because we want our children to be immunized, because we discover immunization is very effective. It's a cost-effective model, whereby with just one shot of immunization, you can reduce about 6 or 8 diseases that affect children.
It's been shown that the education of the girl child, it has a significant relationship between the mortality, child mortality, and survival.
Participants are of the view that every life is precious, hence the need to build effective partnership between health workers and family in order to support children's health, growth, and development.
We want people to know that there's still a wide gap between trainings and the knowledge being impacted on healthcare workers and the actual practice at the various facilities.
Advocacy, development of accountability mechanism, government service and direct service delivery was agreed upon to address gaps in the healthcare services in Nigeria. I am Adebola Ogulano. Let's now join Kemi back in the studio.
Thank you, Adebola. The National Homegrown School Feeding Program is a laudable project which has impacted positively on the lives of school pupils, parents, as well as owners of businesses across the country. Participants at a one-day sensitization program on efficiency and sustainability of the school feeding program expressed this view in Ibadan. Correspondent Shola Wahid has that report.
The federal government school feeding program is one of the campaign promises of President Muhammadu Buhari to provide 1 meal per school day to primary school pupils in Nigeria with the objective of improving health of school-aged children, increase their enrollment, retention and completion rate in the school. To improve on the homegrown school feeding program scheme, a one-day sensitization workshop was organized. Participants at the event said the feeding program, which has enhanced pupils' active learning capacity and contributed to the development of the nation's economy, should be sustained.
The idea is to reduce hunger. The idea is to obviously increase enrollment and also for enhancement of nutritional intake.
If there is a public interest in this group of people, who else is left in Nigeria? The children, the aged, the unemployed, and so on and so forth. It's a good program.
But right now, because of this program, most of the parents have diverted their pupils back to public schools.
So I'm now a professional caterer. I even lecture some people now.
The program agreed that it has provided opportunity to local farmers, producers and processors by generating stable and predictable demand for their products. In Ibadan, Shola Wahid, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Ibadan. It's back to Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Kemi. Now from Ibadan, we move to Katsina, where prudent and exemplary leadership of Governor Aminu Bello Masari are among other qualities that prompted the compilation of a synopsis of his 3 years in office in Katsina State. This statement was made by the book author Mohammed Bashir at a book launch at the Local Government Service Commission Secretariat, Katsina. Correspondent Mohammed Salisu Awal reports.
The governor has been described as worthy of emulation among his peers in northern Nigeria on account of quality projects executed that has direct bearing to the lives of the electorate. Among his pet projects include paying more attention to education, health sector, human development, road construction, women empowerment, among other critical sectors of the state. The book reviewer, Shehu Adam Masari, who said the publication will play a vital role in preserving such historical development, recommended more write-up to convert the magazine into a comprehensive book to serve as a reference. A welcome address, chairman of the launching committee, Sanlawal BK, said the purpose of the book launch is to showcase fulfillment of promises made to the people of Katsina State by the APC administration. Representative of Governor, Special Advisor on Youth Development, Alhaji Khalil Aminu, alongside other critical stakeholders, purchased a number of copies of the book to confirm their dedication to the progress of the state and alignment to the APC government. In Katsina, Mohamed Salis Awal, NTA News.
Now, the federal government's education interventions aimed at promoting entrepreneurial culture and research have continued to yield positive results in tertiary institutions nationwide. Education Minister Adamu at the 14th convocation ceremony of Akanu Ibiam Federal Polytechnic, Wana, says government is committed to strengthening the capacity of polytechnics to train competent persons in human resource management. Ukechuku Onwe reports.
There is no doubt that technical and vocational education plays a key role in the economic empowerment of a nation. Hence, the Minister of Education, represented by the Director of Technical and Science, Federal Ministry of Education, Adediba Adebukola, said government believes that the problem of unemployment can be solved through training.
I also urge you not to lend in your efforts in tailoring all programs towards the nation's development.
Director Obonaya Ibongo and the Executive Director Administration and Training, Nigerian Television Authority, Dr. Steve Ebo, said remarkable developments in the institution have addressed academic deficiency within the academic year.
The desire to make education affordable to all has not allowed us to effect the required increment in fees to meet the financial needs of the Polytechnic in the face of inadequate funding by government.
Nigerian education needs to be effectively revitalized. We must be able to produce people who can actually work their talk.
Some of the graduates believe that with practical-oriented and issue-based knowledge acquired, they are prepared to become employers of labor. A total of 13,085 graduates spanning 4 academic sessions bagged the award of Higher National Diploma and National Diploma.
From Wana Federal Polytechnic, Ebonyi State, Uchechuku Onwe, NTA News.
Now, from education, we move to health, where we join Felicia in our Jos Network Center to update us on the Lassa fever situation in Jos. Over to you, Felicia.
Thank you, Bintu. Welcome to Jos. 8 more people have been reported dead in Plateau State following the recurrence of Lassa fever. Plateau State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Kuden Kamshak, confirmed this while giving update on the disease to NTA News. Mary Domto reports.
Dr. Kuden said 37 samples were taken to the laboratory for confirmation, out of which 20 were confirmed to be cases of Lassa fever. He said this has resulted to 8 deaths and that the fatality rate is about 50%, which can be attributed to late presentation by patients.
2 recent deaths. The patient spent less than 24 hours on admission. So that is to say that as they were coming, before they could even finish evaluating the patient had already died. However, for now, we have had additional positive cases from Bokos and Mangu.
The commissioner advised people with symptoms such as body pains, headaches, and general feeling of being unwell to promptly report to health facilities. The commissioner added that the federal and state governments are doing everything to enlighten and educate the public on the dangers of the disease.
Can easily be
transmitted from one person to another. So the best thing is to restrict closeness, people attending the sick, so on and so forth. Who are going to be taking care of that dead body? We don't even advise the family members to be the ones.
He maintained that proper hygiene is the best precautionary measure. In Jos, Mary Domtur, NTA News.
Media practitioners have been taxed on the objective reportage of the 2019 general elections as an enduring legacy in nation building. This was the stance of key players in the media sector at a capacity building workshop on conflict-sensitive reportage organized by the UNDP and supported by the Norwegian government. Ijoma Oziomena takes it up from here.
The workshop seeks to create networking opportunities for journalists in a region where social cohesion and community resilience is needed to douse adversarial tendencies arising from contest into electoral offenses. The capacity building workshop dwelt on equipping the media with requisite skills for objective reportage in view of the 2019 general elections. Plateau State Governor, represented by the Director of Research and Documentation, Professor John Wade, said covering an election requires greater analytical depth and skills without endangering violence or overlooking peace-building opportunities.
Elections are often prone to violence, and so is reporting elections. The media and journalists are expected to present their reports in such a way as not to fan the fires of conflict.
In a speech, the United Nations Development Programme UNDP Nigerian representative Mrs. Betty Wabunoha reminded members of the Fourth Estate players to provide balanced and impartial coverage as well as equitable access for competing candidates and parties.
The media does not only have an essential function that increases the transparency and accountability of the process, it also helps strengthen the democratic process.
The workshop had journalists from Abuja, Benue, Kogi, Kwara, Nasarawa, Niger, and Plateau states. In Jos, Ijoma Ozemena, NTA News.
Less than 3 weeks to the general elections, various interfaith groups in Jos have continued to meet to educate members on the need to pick up their PVCs as well as pray for peaceful elections. Abba Abubakar Yakubu reports.
The National Prayer Session, which is as the instance of Khan, is to, among other issues, pray for the peaceful conduct of the 2019 general elections. Khan Chairman Plateau State, Reverend Sojabi Waran, stressed the need for Christians to join hands in prayers for God's intervention in tackling various security challenges facing the country. He urged the electorate to ensure that they have their PVC and elect credible candidates.
We feel that when we have a problem as a church, as Christians, the best place we have to take it is to God in prayer.
Governor Simon Lalon, who appreciated Khan for the prayers, saying when God is involved, no matter how terrible the situation is, there must be a turnaround. Similarly, Shirapao community in Jos organized a special prayers for a peaceful general elections. Leader of the group and Sarkin Sharifai of Jos, Sharif Muhammad Ismail, explained that the prayers have become necessary.
There is no alternative to peace. If we want to have change, then we must contribute our own quota.
Chief Imam of Jos, Sheikh Laul Adam, who prayed for a sustainable peace and smooth conduct of the forthcoming elections, advised Nigerians not to relent in praying for the unity and for a meaningful change in the country. In Jos, Abba Abubakar Yakubu, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Jos. It's back to you, Bintu, in Abuja, for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Felicia. Now, the Catholic Archbishop of Abuja, John Cardinal Onaikan, has reiterated the need for Nigerians to embrace peace and peaceful coexistence at all costs, as that is what the country requires at this time to overcome its challenges. He said this in a media briefing in Abuja to mark his 75th birthday. Momso Damien Dati reports.
The absence of peace can be very devastating, leaving behind multiple consequences to include loss of lives and property, displacement, outbreak of diseases and joblessness, to mention only the obvious, which places peace on a high premium and makes it a virtue that should not be traded for anything whatsoever. It is a quest John Cardinal Onaikan is not taken lightly, considering that no amount of money can buy peace.
Continue to work for peace by working for justice. Continue to pursue justice until justice comes. And it's only when justice comes that there will be real peace. Anytime you begin to categorize people on a moral level, you are already doing injustice to them.
He also encouraged Nigerian youths to rise up to the challenge of leadership. The Catholic Archbishop is optimistic that things will get better in Nigeria if everybody does the needful. Momso Damien Dati, NTA News.
Still on our lineup after these messages, a sports update. Take a sports update as we are linking up with our outside broadcast for the APC Cross River State Presidential Campaign Rally taking place now. Do stay tuned.